On Get Up, and one of the stories of the day, Lambeau Field, Lions and Packers, huge showdown in the NFC North, and the debut in a Green Bay uniform of Micah Parsons. And Dan, he made his presence felt. He was on the field for about 45% of the snaps. You definitely noticed.
And you got to pay attention to him. Just the feel of the speed off the football and the pressure that he puts on quarterbacks and offensive linemen, it makes you just play significantly faster. On the field for 29 snaps. In those 29 snaps, Green Bay had 3 sacks, and Detroit averaged 2.4 yards per play. On the other side, it's Jordan Love. Dan, you picked him as your MVP. He sure looked good yesterday. I love the way that Green Bay got to their play-action game. This is a 3-level concept. You have the post that the safety jumps the intermediate crosser, throw the post. He does, and it's absolutely beautiful. And they come right back the next play down the red zone with the 3-man wheel concept. They pick the guy covering Reed. It's a beautiful throw to the back of the end zone. Lambeau lead for Jayden Reed at 17-3. That's the score. 2 minutes to go in the half. The Lions work the ball downfield. Rex, this was the game.
And it's Micah Parsons right there getting inside of Pinay, beating him inside. Forces it, and what a surprise, another check down by Detroit.
A critical moment in which he's picked. Packers 17-3 at halftime, and then this 27-6, it's out of range, but D-Wood, Parsons gets his signature moment.
I mean, look, Greeny, he's fighting through a double team. Look at the effort right here. You didn't think this guy wanted to show off in his debut with the Packers? Woo.
27-13 is your final, and candidly, it didn't feel that close. Dan alluded to it. Parsons played 45% of the snaps on defense. In that time he was on the field, they had 3 sacks. Jared Goff forced his own turnover. They allowed 2.4 yards per play. His impact clearly felt. Here's what he had to say about his Packers debut.
I'm telling you, like, these last 6 months was super draining, super toxic for everyone. I mean, it's something that, I don't think no player should have to go through. I think players' fate should be decided earlier. I think the fact that I was traded a week before the season, it was really outrageous and rough. The trade is done. We got to win. We're 1-0. Now I'm around some really great guys, really great organization, really great fan base, and a really great football team. So now we can put all the nonsense aside.
Indeed they can. D-Wood?
At some point.
Give me one word to describe Green Bay yesterday.
Juice, man. Like it was everywhere. I mean, just look. All you got to do is look at the energy in which Micah Parsons was playing in that game, and it was infectious all throughout the defense. The offense complemented the defense as well. Man, Lambeau Field was just jumping.
You're saying juice yesterday. If they didn't have juice on opening day Lambeau Field against the Lions with Micah Parsons making his debut, they were never going to have juice. And guess what? Breaking news. There's going to be even more juice Thursday night back at Lambeau Field against the Washington Commanders. Jayden Daniels. More juice. And, by the way, there's the opportunity to jump out to that 2-0 start to be even more juice. So there's a lot of juice going on in Green Bay right now.
The question on the screen was, what statement did the Packers make? We all think, or many think, that's the best division in football. Did they prove they're the team to beat in the North yesterday?
Absolutely did, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Detroit, clearly, the questions we had about Detroit all offseason, how are they going to replace Ben Johnson? All right? How'd that look? So far, not so good. How about the interior of the line? They lose Frank Ragnow, the great Pro Bowl center, to retirement. They looked awful. They couldn't block anybody yesterday. So to me, the 2 biggest questions you had in the offseason, you still got those questions.
Yeah, so Detroit's perspective, I didn't see one play that I felt advantage was created for the offense. It felt hard. It felt difficult. No one was open. There's not some of that creative chunk. And so for everybody to truly understand at home, it's not the play that you call. It's when you call the play. And there was obviously a massive drop back in that. This offense used to be unbelievable to watch. Jahmyr Gibbs had 10 catches for what yesterday?
31 yards. I want to explain something to you. That is the fewest number of yards for a 10-catch game in the history of the National Football League.
So the only real difference, I agree, the interior part of the offensive line definitely got beat up, was the play calling. So Detroit, that's a massive concern with me. I'd say this about Green Bay. When I cut on that tape last night, watching that defense felt like I was watching the Eagles defense of last year. The Eagles' defense of last year, the standout stuff was they ran to the football like hyenas. You watch the end of the play, and there'd be 6, 7, 8 jerseys of the Green Bay Packers at the football. And if they play defense like that, because this is the model, be aggressive on offense, Jordan Love take your shots, let's get a 2-score lead, and let's go hunt. And that defense hunted yesterday. If they get that from that defense, this is the team to beat in the NFC North. There's no question about it.
I got to say, because, look, I mean, it was a great game by Green Bay without question, all right? Detroit, can they come back from this? That's the real concern, because next week you're playing Baltimore.
Right.
At Baltimore, and Baltimore's
you're
coming
gonna
off a loss.
That ain't going to happen, all right? The thing that gets me with Detroit is one play, I said, oh, that offense looks familiar. All right, here it is right here. So I'm going to show you this. It's an explosive play, hard play action. Hard play action. Is he open? I don't know. That looks like last year's play. Hey, did we have last year's play there? Oh, yeah, we did. Look, that's it. Yeah. Everything else was check down Charlie. When the hell is the Detroit Lions, the most explosive team in the league, become check down Charlie? Yeah. That is a major concern to me. And by the way, that's the one time they ran hard play action.
That was the one play.
I don't get it.
That's the one play that an advantage was gained. Other than that, they never had the defense on its heels. They never felt like they were a step ahead of the defense. It felt like Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator for Green Bay, was a step ahead of them and constantly dictating to Detroit, and instead of what Detroit has constantly done in the last 3 seasons.
And just think about Green Bay's defense when it had Micah Parsons on the field for less than 50% of the snaps yesterday. They're working him in. And this is a defense yesterday, the Packers defense, that going in felt like it was down a player and a half because they lost Kenny Clark and they had only half of Micah Parsons. So they felt like they were shorthanded yesterday. And it's a defense that should get better as this.
Lucas Van Ness was great for them. They moved him inside. And I agree, because you saw sprinkles of some simulated pressures and coverage change. That's a great coverage change by Hafley.
Let me quickly ask you about Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had his great moments.
Yeah.
There was that sequence. He basically threw interceptions on back-to-back balls. One was dropped, one was called back on a penalty. But that has been the question mark about Love, is his propensity to turn the ball over. How did you feel about him yesterday?
I thought Jordan played great. Yes, there's that 2 plays of back-to-back stuff, one that gets dropped and the other one where it's a bang-bang. Greeny, this young man's crazy talented. You know, like when he gets himself into a little bit of trouble, yes, that is it. But I think you can't rein this young man in this year. Like, you want him to be ultra aggressive with the football and constantly trusting himself. That's a ridiculous play by Brian Branch as well.
It is. But those were consecutive plays, is the point that I'm making. And
Greeny, but that
game is still a game when that happens.
I know, Greeny, but that touchdown pass, I mean, look at this ball. That's ridiculous how good of a throw that is. And so I thought he was clean with the football. I thought he was very fast operating. I don't think if you're Matt LaFleur, you're harping on Jordan Love.
Well, to me, the question has never been about this guy's ability to spin the ball. Like, it's phenomenal. Is he going to be reckless with the ball?
That's the question.
And we saw it again.
I have to leave it there.
On that last one, just a great play by Branch. But the other one, he doesn't need to. He gets that out of his game, then you might be